Join Kids Hut Stories.
In the bustling city of London, young Peter Pan, a boy with wild auburn hair and mischievous green eyes, never knew his past. One moonlit night, he soared over the rooftops, a trail of sparkling fairy dust in his wake. His loyal companion, Tinker, a golden-hued fairy with wings that shimmered like diamonds, darted by his side. Together, they flew to the Enchanted Isles, a cluster of magical lands hidden beyond the stars, where time stood still. The Enchanted Isles were home to the Lost Children, a group of spirited kids who had wandered away from the mundane world. Led by Peter, they thrived in their whimsical haven, building treehouses and sailing through the skies on makeshift rafts. Each island had its own charm: Crystal Cove, with its translucent beaches, Firefly Forest, where glowing insects danced in the twilight, and the mirthful mountains, echoing with joyous laughter. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Peter gathered the lost children for a special adventure. "Tonight, we explore the Isle of Echoes," he announced. This island was shrouded in mystery, with legends of ancient guardians and hidden treasures. Wendy, a brave and curious girl with flowing brown hair and bright blue eyes, was especially eager to uncover its secrets. As they approached the Isle of Echoes, a dense fog enveloped them. Strange, whispering voices filled the air. Tinker's light cut through the mist, revealing an ancient stone archway. "This is it," Peter said, his voice tinged with excitement. They stepped through the archway, entering a realm where their reflections spoke back to them in riddles. Deep within the island, they discovered a hidden grotto, where the waters glowed with an ethereal light. At the center of the grotto stood a pedestal holding a crystal orb. "The Heart of Echoes," whispered Wendy, reaching out to touch it. The moment her fingers brushed the orb, the grotto transformed. The walls lit up with ancient runes, and the whispers turned into harmonious melodies. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was the Guardian of Echoes, a tall, elegant being with wings like stained glass and eyes that mirrored the cosmos. "You have proven your worth," the Guardian said. "The Heart of Echoes grants wisdom and the power to protect these lands." With the orb in their possession, Peter and the lost children returned to their islands, their spirits lifted by their newfound connection to the Enchanted Isles. They spent their days learning from the heart, using its wisdom to enhance their magical haven. Under Peter's leadership, they forged stronger bonds with the land and each other. But the peace was threatened by Captain Ironclaw, a fearsome pirate with a mechanical arm and a crew of misfits. Ironclaw sought to conquer the Enchanted Isles and harness their magic for his own gain. Peter and the lost children, armed with the heart's wisdom, defended their home with courage and cleverness. They outwitted Ironclaw at every turn, using the island's magic to create illusions and traps. In the final showdown, Peter and Ironclaw faced off atop the mirthful mountains. With the heart's power, Peter summoned a storm of laughter that disoriented Ironclaw, sending him tumbling down the mountainside. With Ironclaw gone, peace returned to the Enchanted Isles. Peter and the lost children continued their adventures, knowing they had the wisdom and strength to protect their magical home. They lived happily, with the spirit of adventure guiding them through endless tales and timeless journeys.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Kids Hut Stories. Ever heard of a beanstalk that reaches the clouds? Well, buckle up because today we're diving into the tale of Jack and the magic beans. Get ready for magic, danger, and a golden goose that lays. Well, you'll see.
Once upon a time there lived a boy named Jack. He lived with his mom as his father had died many years ago. They were really poor and had to sell almost everything they owned just to buy food. They had only one cow left, but this cow too stopped giving milk, so Jack's mom got worried and sent Jack to the town for selling the cow. On the way to market, Jack met a weird guy who told him stories about magic beans. Jack, wanting to help his mom, asked the man where he could buy some magic beans. "I have the last 5 magic beans and I will sell them to you because you are a good boy," the strange man smiled at Jack. "Well, I have nothing but our old cow and we need the money." The man replied, "Trust me, my boy. These beans will bring you food and fortune and your mother will be proud of you." Jack hesitated but finally traded the cow for the beans. When Jack returned home, his mother got furious and threw the beans out of the kitchen window. She started crying because their last hope was also lost. Jack went to bed that night sad and hungry. He felt very upset and thought how stupid he was that he believed the stranger. He woke up the next morning and saw that a huge beanstalk had grown in the garden. "The beans really are magic," he shouted. Jack saw that stalk went up so high that it reached the clouds. He remembered stories about the clouds containing gold and felt excited. He started climbing the stalk to see what he could find. He climbed and climbed. When he got to the top, he saw a huge castle and headed for it. The door of the castle was so big that Jack could crawl beneath it. When he entered the castle, he saw a giant man eating his dinner. When the giant finished eating, he called his servant to bring him his bag of gold coins. While counting his money, the giant became drowsy and fell asleep. Jack reached up to the giant and stole his bag of gold. He rushed away to the stalk and came down the beanstalk as quickly as possible. When he got to the bottom, he called for his mother and showed her the bag of gold coins. Jack's mother was very happy because this was the same money that the giant had stolen from Jack's father many years ago. But she was also afraid, as she knew how dangerous the giant was and made Jack promise that he would never go back. Jack promised to his mother that he would not go there again. After a while the money began to run out and Jack began to wonder, what could he find if he would go to castle again? Once again, Jack climbed up the beanstalk and went back to the castle. As he entered the castle door, once again he found the giant eating dinner at his table. The giant finished eating his meal and called for his magic hen. Jack was amazed when he saw the hen lay an egg of pure gold. While the giant was watching the hen, he again became drowsy and fell asleep. Jack crept silently to the table and grabbed the hen. He rushed back to home and climbed down the beanstalk. When he told his mother about his second journey, his mother became very angry. She grabbed Jack's axe and started cutting the beanstalk. Jack begged her not to do so and showed her how the hen could lay golden eggs. Jack's mother put the axe down and watched with delight as the hen laid one beautiful golden egg after another. They became rich and their life started to become better and better. After a while Jack's curiosity got the better of him and he once again thought about what else he could find in the castle. So, once again he climbed up the beanstalk and went back to the castle. As he reached there, he again found the giant eating dinner at his table. However, this time the giant called for his magic harp. Jack watched as the harp began to play beautiful music all by itself. The music was so beautiful that soon the giant became lazy and once again went fast asleep. Jack crept silently to the table. But as soon as Jack picked up the harp, it began playing very bad sounds in the hands of Jack. The giant woke up suddenly. Jack started to run as fast as he could. "Fee, fey, fum," yelled the giant and he chased after the boy. Jack raced to the beanstalk and slid down. He could feel the stalk shake as the giant began climbing down. Luckily his axe was nearby and he started to chop down the beanstalk. The beanstalk shook and cracked under the weight of the giant and Jack's chopping. Finally, the stalk snapped and the giant fell to the earth, never to be seen again. Jack felt a sigh of relief as he was nearly killed by the giant.
What do you think, friends? Was it right for the Jack to climb up again even after becoming rich? There's a lesson to be learned here, though. Jack started out wanting to help his family, and his bravery got him far. But remember, greed can be a dangerous thing. Jack's curiosity almost cost him everything when he went back for the harp. Sometimes, what you already have is more than enough. Luckily, Jack learned his lesson and lived happily ever after. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. There might just be a beanstalk waiting to take you on your own incredible adventure, but remember to be grateful for what you have. Hey story explorers! Welcome back to Kids Hut Stories. Today, we're diving into a tale as bright as a cherry lollipop and just as sweet, the story of Little Red Riding Hood. This time, we're going on an adventure filled with danger, bravery, and maybe even a few giggles. So, grab your teddy bears, snuggle in tight, and get ready to meet a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood, who's about to embark on a journey through the Whispering Woods. Let's start.
Once upon a time there was a little girl, who lived deep in a village nestled by a whispering forest. Her grandma had gifted her a beautifully crafted red cloak with a big red hood. Every time she went outside, she would wear this red frock. So, everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One bright sunny day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said to her, "Grandma isn't feeling well. Will you take this basket of food through the forest to her cottage?" "Yes, mother, I always love to see Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood. She put on her red cloak and she pulled up her red hood. Then she took the basket of food and started to leave. "Remember," her mother said loudly, "don't talk to any strangers on your way to Grandma's cottage." "Don't worry, Mom. I shall be careful," Little Red Riding Hood promised to her mother and embarked on her journey into the woods. She knew the forest path to Grandma's house very well, so she did not have to worry about getting lost in the forest. Along the way, she saw some beautiful wild flowers growing near the path. Grandma would really adore these flowers, she said to herself, and stopped there to pick a few. While she was looking at the flowers, someone said in a deep growling voice, "Hello, little girl." Little Red Riding Hood was very startled. She turned around and saw a big bad wolf standing in the shadows between two trees. She said hello to the wolf, as she didn't know that the wolf was bad and she had forgotten her mother's words about not talking to strangers. "Where are you going on this fine day?" asked the big bad wolf. "I'm going to my grandma's cottage that is across the forest behind the hill," said Little Red Riding Hood. "She isn't feeling very well, so I'm bringing her this basket of food and these flowers." "What a sweet girl you are," said the big bad wolf, as he smiled and showed his mouth full of sharp teeth. The big bad wolf was quite hungry, but he was not interested in the basket of food. "I should better be going, so goodbye," said Little Red Riding Hood and went on her way. The big bad wolf's stomach grumbled and growled with hunger, but he had an idea in his mind, a really wicked idea. He quickly ran through the forest all the way behind hill to the grandma's cottage. The sneaky wolf opened the door very quietly and found Grandma asleep in her bed. He picked up the old woman, opened his great big mouth and swallowed old Grandma in one gulp. Then the big bad wolf climbed into the bed and pulled the blanket up to his chin. He put on Grandma's glasses and her night cap and anxiously waited for the little girl to arrive. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, she opened the door quietly and found Grandma lying in bed. She said, "Hello Grandma, how are you? Mother told me you weren't feeling well, so I brought some food and some flowers." "What a sweet little girl you are," said the wolf in his fake grandma voice. "Come closer to me, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood took a step closer and she noticed that something looked a little different about Grandma. She asked, "Grandma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you, my dear, come closer to me," said the big bad wolf. Little Red Riding Hood took another step closer to the bed and said in a shocking voice, "What big ears you have, Grandma." "All the better to hear you, my dear, come closer to me," replied the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood took one more step closer, and asked again, "Oh Grandma, what big teeth do you have?" She said in surprise, "All the better to eat you with." The big bad wolf jumped out of the bed growling and opened his great big mouth. Little Red Riding Hood shrieked and tried to run. She was crying out loud, "Help, help, help," but the hungry wolf grabbed her up and tried to swallow her just like the grandma in one gulp. Luckily, a woodsman happened to be walking through the forest, just outside the cottage, when he heard Little Red Riding Hood's cries for help. The woodsman hurried inside and attacked the wolf. The wolf left the girl and tried to run, but he fell down on the floor. As he fell down, Grandma came tumbling out of the wolf's mouth. The woodsman hit the wolf with his axe and chased the wolf out of the cottage, out of the forest and over the hill. The big bad wolf ran for his life and was never seen again. Little Red Riding Hood learned her lesson and she never ever talked to strangers again.
Whoa, that was a close call for Little Red Riding Hood. So friends, what can we learn from her adventure? First, always listen to your parents' advice. They know what's best to keep you safe. Second, be cautious of strangers. Not everyone with a friendly smile has good intentions. Third, sometimes, even the smallest voice can be heard. Never give up hope, and don't be afraid to call for help.
Join Kids Hut Stories.
Once upon a time, in a world where magic and reality intertwined, a brave young boy named Aaron lived in a small village near a vast and mysterious jungle. Though he was part of the human world, Aaron had a special bond with Syra, a wise and beautiful white tiger who lived deep within the jungle. They had been friends for years, meeting secretly to share stories and adventures. One day, a mean and greedy hunter named Rohan stormed into the jungle with his army of mercenaries. Rohan had heard tales of the heart of the forest, a magical gem called the Emerald of Eternity, which gave life to the entire jungle. Consumed by greed, Rohan wanted the emerald's power for himself. When he snatched it from its ancient resting place, everything started to change. The rivers dried up, trees lost their leaves, and all the animals felt the jungle dying. As the jungle withered, the animals gathered together in a worried huddle. Fear and despair hung in the air like a thick fog. "What are we going to do?" squeaked Tycho the mongoose, his eyes wide with fear. Syra, the wisest of all the animals, stepped forward. Her usually majestic figure now seemed weighed down with sorrow. "There is a secret," she began, her voice filled with gravitas. "The Emerald of Eternity keeps our jungle alive. Without it, we will all perish. We must get it back, but it will be a dangerous journey." The animals were silent, their hearts heavy with dread. No one wanted to face the terrifying hunter. But just when hope seemed lost, Syra's eyes brightened as she thought of her friend Aaron. She knew that he was brave and clever, and with his help, they might just have a chance. Syra called out to the winds, sending a message to Aaron, hoping he would hear her plea for help. In the village, Aaron was sitting in his room, daydreaming about his last adventure in the jungle, when he suddenly felt a familiar, urgent tug at his heart. It was Syra. He could feel her calling him. Without a second thought, he grabbed his satchel and ran to meet her. As Aaron entered the edge of the jungle, he found Syra waiting for him, her blue eyes filled with worry. She quickly explained what had happened, and Aaron's face grew serious. "We have to get the Emerald of Eternity back," he said, determination gleaming in his eyes. Aaron knew this task was too big for him alone, so he decided to invite his two best friends from school, Rena and Rahul. Rena was quick and agile, with a sharp mind, while Rahul was strong and fearless, always ready for an adventure. Together, the three friends set off on the journey to save the jungle. Aaron, Rena, and Rahul, guided by Syra, ventured deeper into the dying jungle. The once vibrant landscape was now dark and lifeless, filled with new dangers. Their first challenge was the Great Chasm, a huge and scary ravine. With Rena's agility and Rahul's strength, they managed to create a bridge using fallen vines and crossed safely. As they traveled, they encountered Hathi, a wise old elephant. "You will need this," Hathi said, handing Aaron a magical dagger. "At the right moment, this dagger will guide you." The dagger shimmered with a mysterious light, and Aaron felt its power coursing through his hand. They faced many challenges: venomous snakes, thick thorny bushes, and other dangers. But each time, they worked together, growing stronger and more determined. Finally, they reached the ancient ruins where Rohan and his mercenaries were camped. Rahul and Rena moved swiftly, taking down the mercenaries with surprising speed and agility, while Aaron confronted Rohan, who held the Emerald of Eternity, now glowing with dark power. The fight between Aaron and Rohan was intense. Aaron tried his best, but Rohan's magic was strong, and Aaron began to tire. The hope that had driven him started to waver. When it seemed that Aaron might lose, the magical dagger began to glow brightly. A voice echoed in Aaron's mind, "Now, Aaron, use me." With renewed strength, Aaron fought Rohan again. The dagger's magic cut through Rohan's dark power, its light pushing back the shadows. Finally, with a powerful strike, Aaron defeated Rohan, who fell to the ground, his grip on the emerald loosening as he succumbed to Aaron's bravery. Aaron took the Emerald of Eternity and placed it back in its rightful spot. Instantly, the jungle came back to life. Trees blossomed, and the air filled with the sounds of happy animals. All the jungle creatures gathered around Aaron, Rena, Rahul, and Syra, cheering and celebrating. Syra, her eyes shining with pride, stepped forward. "You have saved the jungle, Aaron. You and your friends are our true heroes." As the sun rose, casting a golden glow over the vibrant jungle, Aaron and his friends stood together, knowing they had protected their home. The jungle was safe once more, thanks to their bravery and teamwork, and the unbreakable bond between them and their wild friends. If you like this story, share this with your friends and family, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting stories that teach us valuable life lessons.